Netflix, who of course has been in the news for some okay stuff, some negative stuff. Obviously, yesterday was Netflix's 20th anniversary, which I still can't believe. Well, today Netflix has unveiled its fourth and winter 2022 schedule, and holy cow, there's some really good ones that they just scheduled. So here are the list of the films that are scheduled to be released this year, or dates just in general. All right, September 1st, we got Vincent, which is a film from Brazil, where like Walter's stress and collapses by medical advice. He abandons the urban rhythm and seeks peace in a small town surrounded by nature. But his plans for peace and tranquility won't last long in his neighborhood. Sounds really interesting. I mean, I haven't really seen much of Netflix's international content. I mean, I've seen some like Squid Game, which isn't so bad. There's some other really good ones, so maybe this will be decent. All right, we also got that new film, Love in the Villa, which stars Cat Graham and dude from Umbrella Academy, Tom Hopper, I think his name is. Has already been given a date, but this movie is actually directed by writer director Mark Steven Johnson. So interesting. We got the Ivy and Bean movies, which is awesome. Unlike the Fear Street films, they're actually releasing all three trilogies in one day. All the Ivy and Bean films are scheduled to be released on September 12, on September 2nd. So that's cool right there. All right, on September 8th, got a film called The Anthrax Attacks, which is actually from the Kill Team director. It tells the story of the 2001 anthrax attacks on the U.S. and one of the most complex FBI investigation in the history of law enforcement. This actually stars former Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. star Clark Gregg, who I actually met in person, by the way. So, could be interesting. Alright, September 9th, got a film called End of the Road, which stars Queen Latifah, Ludacris, Beau Bridges. Sounds really trained. Now, of course, they did drop the trailer for this not so long ago. If you guys don't know much about this story here, it's where, like, after losing her job, widowed Brandon, played by Queen Latifah, drives her family cross country to start a new life in the New Mexico desert off the help, and they must learn to fight when they become targets of a mysterious killer. The trailer for this looks intriguing. I mean, it kind of looks like a thriller version of Johnson Family Vacation. That's where I'm getting at a lot. So, could be intriguing to check out. Alright. Got a movie from an anime film from Japan called Drifting Home, which looks intriguing. Got the movie Do Revenge, which stars former Riverdale actress Camila Mendes, as well as Stranger Things actress Maya Hawke. You also got Paris Barella, Sophie Turner's in this. If you guys don't know much about the story about this, it's where Drea and Eleanor who team up to go after each other's tormentors. So it's pretty much like a bully-based film, and it looks really fun. I mean, like I said with Jane, I'm really glad to see some of the cast of Riverdale really branching out to more stuff. And Camila Mendes is a really cool actress, so glad to see her doing more stuff. Because Riverdale's not gonna be it's pretty much ending next year, so they're gonna need some some other stuff to fall back on. All right, on September 23rd, got a movie called Lou, which is from Underworld Awakening, one of the Underworld's director, and Foster, where Allison Janney plays this woman who must rescue this daughter, and who must pretty much rescue this mother whose daughter ends up getting kidnapped. So, yeah, it's pretty much Allison Janney's version of John Wick. And it looks really intriguing. I mean, it is. Anna Foster also did Outlander, so there's that too. So could be interesting. All right, in theaters on September 16th and Netflix on September 23rd, got Tyler Perry's film Jasmine's Blue, which is written and directed by Tyler Perry, and in it unspools 40 years of secrets and lies in a tale of forbidden love and family drama, soundtracking by Juke Joint's Blues in the Deep South. This looks really intriguing. I mean, Tyler Perry has been. I'm one of the rare folks who don't mind Tyler Perry films, and seeing him like really like this is literally a movie he's been. This is literally a script that Tyler Perry once wrote when he was homeless. That's right, people. Tyler Perry, who's now pretty much a billionaire, if I believe. I think billionaire or millionaire, one or two. Tyler Perry, who's now a billionaire, was once homeless. So that says a lot about humanity nowadays. All right. Also, we get on in theaters on September 23rd, and in theaters on September 9th, and Netflix on September 23rd. Got Athena, which is from France, where like hours after the tragic death of their youngest brother in unexplained circumstances, three siblings have their lives thrown into chaos. This is directed by former French actor Roman Gavras. Looks really interesting to see. Alright, in theaters on September 16th, and Netflix on September 28th. We got the Marilyn Monroe NC-17 film Blonde with Ana de Armas as Marilyn Monroe. I mean, it's really a Marilyn Monroe movie that's NC-17. What more can you ask for there? But Ana de Armas was lots of backlash because of her accent and everything. But I think Ana de Armas is going to do great. I mean, she has been in some really cool stuff, whether it's Knives Out, which I'll get to here pretty soon. Of course, she's been in some other cool stuff like The Gray Man she was just in. So I'm really glad to see her really branching out into more stuff. And could this be an Oscar contender? Who knows? I mean, Netflix, I cannot remember the last NC-17 movie Netflix had really nominated. So, yeah. Alright, now coming in October, we got Mr. Harrington's Phone, which is from Blindside director John Lee Hancock. And this is actually based on a story by on a collection of novellas by Stephen King starring Donna Sutherland, as well as former It star Jana Martell. Here's what this is about, and it sounds really intriguing. Sort of sounds a little bit like The Black Phone, but anyway. The film is about a young boy living in a small town who befriends an older, exclusive billionaire. The two form of an iPhone, but when the man passes away, the boy discovers that not everything dead is gone, and he finds himself able to communicate with his friend from the grave. So hence a little bit similar to, I guess you could say a little similar to The Black Phone in a way, where like he could communicate with the dead through a phone and all. So granted, that wasn't based on. Granted, that was not based on a book by Stephen King, but it was based on a book by his son, so there's that. But that sounds interesting. I mean, I never really read the book or anything, but we've been having lots of interesting stories based on, based on Stephen King's books, and whether it's like, the It movies, there's a new Pet Sematary coming, so yeah, who does not love a good Stephen King story, right? Alright, now in theaters on September 30th and Netflix on October 7th, we got Luckiest Girl Alive, which is directed by Mike Barker and stars Mila Kunis. And here's what this is about. It centers on Annie Fanelli, a sharp-tongued New Yorker who appears to have it all, a sought-after position at a glossy magazine, a killer wardrobe, and a dream nut kid wedding on the horizon. But when the director of a crime documentary invites her to tell her side of the shocking incident that when she was a teenager at a prestigious Brantley school, Annie is forced to confront a dark truth that threatens to unravel her crafted life. Now, this is based on a book. Never read the book, so I can't really comment on that. I do like Mila Kunis. She was really good in that recent drug addicted film she just did last year. I forgot the name. 4 Good Days, I think it was called. She was great in that, so I'm really glad. I don't know. This sounds like it'd be really intriguing to check out. Maybe it'll be decent. Who knows? All right, we also got some Olympic documentary coming out in December called The Redeem Team, which I don't know much about. October 14th, got The Curse of Bridge Hollow, which is from Kick-Ass 2 director Jeff Walla, who also gave us Truth or Dare and Fantasy Island. So. So that says something. Now here's what this is about. It's pretty much like Marlon Wayans' version of Hubie Halloween. It stars Marlon Wayans, who plays a father, and his teen daughter, who's played by Stranger Things actress Pariah Ferguson, are forced to team up and save. Sorry about that. And save their town from an incident, and mischievous spirit causes Halloween decorations to come alive and wreak havoc. Now you also got Neil Vardalos is also in this, Rob Riggle, John Michael Higgins. So we got some interesting cast members here. I mean, I'm one of the rare folks who like Marlon Wayans, but yeah, the director Jeff Wallow, his last couple of movies, Truth or Dare and Fantasy Island, wasn't all that great. So his only good movies, in my opinion, is probably Never Back Down from 2008, which also had Amber Heard in it, by the way, and Kick-Ass 2. So he's a little bit of a hit and miss, in my opinion. Alright, we also got School for Good and Evil coming out on October 19th, which stars Charlize Theron, Kerry Washington, Lawrence Fishburne, Sophia Wiley, who's on that High School Musical show. Where, like, best friends, Sophie and Agatha find themselves on opposing sides of modern fairy tale. Sorry about that. Like, you have the good one in the School for the Evil, and the evil one in the School for Good. So a little turnaround there. This is directed by Paul Feig, who gave us movies like Bridesmaids, Ghostbusters. He did a Simple Favor a few years ago too. So he's done some really cool stuff before as well. Alright, we also got a movie called Descendant coming to theaters and Netflix on October 21st. And no, not to be confused with The Descendant or, you know, the Disney Channel film. Now, this is directed by former documentary director, the Margaret Brown, who did Orders of the Myth, The Great Invisible. And so, yeah, it's where, like, documentary filmmaker Margaret Brown returns to her hometown of Mobile, Alabama, to document the search for an historical discovery of the Kalafida, and last known ship to arrive in the U.S. illegally carrying enslaved Africans after a century of sectarian and speculation. Wow, that sounds really extreme right there. I mean, sounds very intense. I mean, I don't know much about the story here. I really watch much documentaries. I mean, documentaries I really enjoy more is mostly films about, like, let's say, famous people I know of, like Mr. Rogers, or that Sidney Poitier documentary I'm interested in. So, I don't know, I'm probably not going to check this one out, to be honest with you. Alright. In theaters on October 19th and Netflix on October 26th, we got The Good Nurse, which is directed by sorry about that, by Tobias Lindholm, and stars Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne. Here's what it's about. Suspicious that her colleague is responsible for a series of mysterious patient deaths, a nurse risks her own life to uncover the truth in this gripping thriller based on true events. It is based on a book as well, so a movie about Killer Nurse, okay, sign me up right there. That could be intriguing to see. Alright, we also got All Quiet on the Western Front, directed by Edward Berger. The film is actually set to premiere in theaters sometime on September 29th and October in select markets, but premiere on Netflix October 18th. This is actually a bit based on the World War I book of the same name, which also got turned into one of the very earliest Oscar-winning films for Best Picture. This is a German language film that stars Dana Brühl as a young German soldier's terrifying experiences and distress on the Western Front during World War I. This sounds intriguing. I mean, you got Dan Brühl, who's always terrific, whether it's in the movie Rush, whether it's in Falcon Winter Soldier. So I'm really intrigued to see. I mean, I don't know. Could this be one of the rare remakes to an Oscar-winning film that actually wins Best Picture? I don't know about that, but all right. In theaters on October 21st and Netflix on October 28th, we got When the Wild, which is from Coraline and A Nightmare Before Christmas director Henry Selick, and features the voice talents of Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele. Now, it's an animated tale about scheming demon brothers Wendell and Wild, voiced by Key and Peele, who enlists the aid of a 13-year-old Cat Elliott, a tough teen with a load of guilt, to summon them. Sorry about that. to the Land of the Living. So this is, of course, a stop motion animated film. In the vein of stuff like of Coraline or maybe James and John Peach. Pretty much stuff that Henry Selick directed before. So, man, between this and Pinocchio, I'm getting the return of stop motion animation films. I mean, really cool to see. Alright. November 4th, we got Enola Holmes 2 with Millie Bobby Brown coming back here. Since obviously, who knows if Man of Steel 2 is ever going to come out. At least we got Henry Cavill coming back as Sherlock Holmes, so I guess there's that. Alright, we also got on November 10th, we got, obviously it's around the holidays, so we're going to get some Christmas stuff. We got Falling for Christmas, starring Lindsay Lohan and former Glee star Troy Overstreet, where newly engaged spoiler Hotel Harris gets into a skiing accident, suffers from total amnesia, and finds himself in the care of a handsome blue-collar lodge owner and his daughter in the days leading up to Christmas. What? That sounds familiar. A movie where someone has amnesia before for a regular guy. That sounds familiar. Oh yeah, it sounds like Overboard. I tell you right now, just reading this synopsis, it's just an Overboard remake. Of course, they did do that with Anna Faris, but still, yeah, tell me that doesn't sound like Overboard. But hey, it has Lindsay Lohan coming back, which I've always loved Lindsay, whether it's like Freaky Friday, Mean Girls. So seeing her making a comeback could be interesting to see. Alright. We also got a documentary coming out in November on 11th for Is That Black Enough for You, which is from historic and Elvis Mitchell, and it features like cultural artists voices including Charles Burnett, Sam Jackson, Whoopi Goldberg, Lawrence Fishburne, and many others. And it pretty much delves into black entertainment and black representation. Early stages of cinema. Wow, that's how I want to see. I mean, I always do love any documentaries about the early stages of cinema and stuff like that, and that was interesting right here. Alright. Also got something else, another documentary called Capturing the Killer Nurse, another film about killer nurse people. You're not going to want to see a nurse again after seeing these stuff. But this is supposed to come out on November 11th, when a mysterious lab results link a series of deaths at a local hospital. A heroic nurse teams up with two smart town detectives to go undercover and help capture fellow nurse and friend Charles Cullen, a man believed to be one of the most prolific serial killers in the history. Dang. I mean, Netflix has been killing it with these true story shows or movies or whatever. Whether it's a Ted Bundy film with Zac Efron, we got Evan Pierce playing Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, I love a good story about a real life serial killer, and this looks like to be up my alley. So sign me up with this one. All right. We also on November 16th we got something called In the Hands, which I don't know much about. Yeah, I don't really know much about this thing. On November 17th, we got another Christmas film called Christmas Review, which stars Freddie Prinze Jr. and former George Lopez and Lucifer star Amy Garcia. Nice to see Freddie Prinze Jr. coming back. I've always been a Freddie Prinze guy, so I'm glad to see Freddie Prinze making a bit of a comeback here. Here's what this is about. Feeling queer out, pop star Angelina, played by Garcia, escaped to grant a young fans with in small town New York, when where she not only finds to revise her career, but also a shot at true love. So yeah, of course, Amy Garcia, like I said, is best known for playing her. Appearing in this painting is always given. I mean, she's always really awesome. So I'm gonna see her there. Freddie Prinze Jr. is always terrific. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Which of course the trailer for this just got released. This is from Francis Lawrence, who's also working with Netflix on BioShock. This stars Jason Momoa, who plays like this half man, half goat thing, where like a with a secret map to the dream world of Slumberland, and with the help of this outlaw, she traverses dream and flees nightmares with the hope that she will be able to see her late father again. Now, Chris Lawrence directed the last few Hunger Games movies. He has a new one coming out. He did other stuff like I believe he did I, Robot. He did I Am Legend. So he's done some cool movies over the years like Constantine. So this could be interesting. All right. On November 23rd, we got a movie called Swimmers from the UK, where swimming sisters Yasara and Sarah Modeling miraculously journeys as refugees from war-torn Syria all the way to 2016's Rio Olympics. Could be interesting right there. On November 24th, got a movie called The No Diaries, which stars former This Is Us star Justin Hawley. When best-selling author Jacob Turner, played by Hawley, returns home at Christmas, another Christmas film, people, to settle his estranged mother's estate, he discovers a diary that may hold secret to his own past, and that of Rachel, played by Barrett Doss, a beautiful young woman on a mysterious journey of her own. So, other than word, this is a Hallmark film coming to Netflix. Just read that synopsis. Like, that is every Hallmark movie just ever. Yeah, I mean, Netflix has been, I don't know, they've been putting out lots of, like, I mean, I'm surprised Hallmark is still in business with Netflix now. So, yeah. Alright, now, a film that doesn't have a release date yet, there is My Father's Dragon, which comes to Netflix and theaters in November, just no actual release date. This, from cartoonist, this is actually from the Breadwinner director, Nora Tomei, which is based on the book of the same name, where film is inspired by the Newbery Honor Children's Book from author Ruth Stiles Gannett. Struggling to cope after a move to the city with his mother, Elmer runs away in search of Wild Island and young dragon who wants to be rescued. So, it could be interesting there. I mean, Netflix has been killing with its animation content. Of course, the Sea Beast was pretty good. Obviously, Mitchell vs. Machine was actually my favorite anime film of last year. So, yeah, and of course, this year alone, they got When the Wild, they got Pinocchio, which I'll get to here in a bit. So, yeah, really cool here. Alright, we also got a movie from India coming in November called Monaco, My Darling, which I don't even know much about. I mean, hey, RR is a really big hit, so maybe this could be the next RR, who knows. Alright, coming to theaters, just don't have a release date for theaters, but coming to Netflix on December 9th, we got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. So, just wrap this around here. We literally got not one but two Pinocchios this year. We got one for Disney Plus, which is the remake of the original, and we got Del Toro's version. So, I'm probably still more excited for the Robin Zemeckis version because that one was a little bit more better. But this does look really intriguing. I do like where Del Toro's gonna take this thing to. Hopefully, it'll be cool. All right. It airs on December 9th and Netflix on December 16th. We got a movie called a documentary called The Volcano. Called The Volcano Rescue from Bulgaria. So it's from director Rory Kennedy, so it could be cool there. Alright, we got Alejandro Inarritu's new film, Bardo, Force Chronicle of Handful of Truth. It comes to theaters on October 27th and Netflix on December 16th. This is actually almost at Del Toro. This is actually Alejandro Inarritu's first film, by the way, since The Revenant, and this is actually his passion project here. Now, of course, Inarritu has directed some really cool movies over the years, whether it's like Birdman, Babel. He's done some other cool stuff over the years too. Now, Bardo is an epic, visually stunning and experience set against the intimate and moving journey of Severio, a renowned Mexican journalist and documentary filmmaker living in LA, who, after being named recipient of a prestigious international award, is compelled to return to his native country, unaware that his simple trip will push him everyday life with a sense of bewilderment and wonder. So, of course, this is actually Ulrich's first foreign film since his last foreign film, I believe. I can't remember what his last foreign film was. I know his last movie in general was Revenant. I can't remember the last foreign film he did. But hey, I mean, he literally has not one but two Oscars on mantle. You know, he won for Birdman and Revenant. Could he bring home a third? Who knows? All right, we got for all you Seven Deadly Sins fans, we got the Seven Deadly Sins Grudge of Edinburgh Part 1, which is based on the anime series. This comes out on December 20th. We of course got Glass Onion, a 9 Out mystery. We still don't have a release date for Deers, but this is of course coming out to Netflix on December 23rd, which was already confirmed recent. Now this is of course the follow Two Nights Out, which was one of my favorite movies of that year, where Detective Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, travels to Greece to peel back the layers of a mystery involving a new cast of colorful suspects. Now, this is directed by Brian Johnson, and have Craig coming back, along with other cast members like Ed Norton, Janelle Monáe, Dave Bautista, Catherine. Didn't drop a trailer or anything, but they did drop like that little sizzle, that little teaser during remember earlier this year when Netflix like released that little real video and featuring footage of what they have coming out this year. They dropped like little. One of them was of course the Knives Out sequel, and that looks like it'd be really intriguing. And I love the first film, so hopefully the sequel will be as good. All right, on December 25th, and Deers on December 9th. I definitely want to see the same Deers. We got Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical, which is of course an adaptation of the Tony and Olivier award-winning musical. Matilda tells the story of an extraordinary girl who, of course, if you guys remember, she has the powers and stuff like that. And you got Emma Thompson playing the principal. I mean, obviously, I never really read the Matilda book, but whenever I think of Matilda, I always think of the classic Danny DeVito directed one. So yeah, this is supposed to be, of course, more based on the musical more than the original film. This totally looks like on the original film though, but still, it looks really intriguing because they did drop the trailer not so long ago. I mean, Adventure Matilda actually holds a place in my heart. I used to always love that one. Directed by Danny DeVito, Rhea Perlman, little girl from Miss Doubtfire, Mara Wilson, I think her name is. Whatever. I'm not sure. I really wish she could make a comeback, but. Anyway, of course, you got some cast members like Emma Thompson's in this. You've got Lashana Lynch from Captain Marvel fame. So I'm really excited to see this when it premieres. Alright. What else we got here? Also, in Deers on December 30th. Oh, no. In Deers on November 25th. And Deers December 30th. We got Noah Baumbach's new film, White Noise, which is, of course, based on a novel of the same name, starring Adam Driver, Greta Gerwig, Don Cheadle, Andre 3000. I mean, of course, this is like, this is pretty much Noah Baumbach's follow-up to Marriage Story, which was really terrific. And it's where, like, one's hilarious and horrifying lyrical and absurd, ordinary, and apocalyptic white noise dramatized the contemporary American family's attempt to deal with the mundane conflicts of everyday life while grappling with the universal mysteries of love and death and possibility of happiness in this certain world. I mean, I'm definitely excited for this because Noah Baumbach has made some really cool movies over the years. I mean, besides, Marriage Story, he also gave us Squid and the Whale. He gave us the Meyerowitz stories. So, anything Noah Baumbach directs, I'll definitely be watching. Alright, we also got some other stuff here that just don't really have much dates. We got Lady Charlie's Lover from that Haley Steinfeld show on Apple. It's based on a classic novel by D.H. Lawrence. A story well ahead of its time. We follow the life of Lady Chantilly, a woman born to a life of wealth and privilege, who soon finds herself married to a man that she eventually falls out of love with. Let's just hope it's better than their persuasion, you know. But could this be the next Bridgerton, like a movie version of Bridgerton? Who knows? All right, we got summer in Netflix, and in November we got The Wonder. No release date yet, but this stars my crush Florence Pugh. You also got Sarah Hines, Toby Jones, directed by Florida director Sebastian Leo, and it takes place in Irish Vinelands in 1862. A young girl stops eating but remains miraculously alive and well. English nurse Liv Wright is brought to a tiny village to observe 11-year-old Anna O'Donnell. Tourists and pilgrim mass to witness the girl who is said to have survived without food for months. Okay, sign me up with this one. I mean, it's eventually. What I say? Is it Leo? Leo, I think his name is. He did Gloria Bell. He's done some other stuff here and there. This I gotta say, down the string, you got Florence Pugh. I'll just watch it because she's in it. So, I mean, come on. I'll watch Florence Pugh just read a phone book. That's how awesome of an actress she is. Alright, we also got Scrooge, A Christmas Story, coming to theaters on December 10th, and Netflix on December 2nd. Of course, you guys know the story. This is based on the iconic, album news, Scrooge, and all. This features the voices of Luke Evans, Olivia Colman, Jessie Buckley. So we got some interesting voice casting. I mean, listen, bro, we've seen the story time and time again. You know, obviously whether it's the classic George C. Scott film, whether it's Robinson Makepeace's version with Tom Hanks, whether it's the Murray's version, whether it's the Muppets. I mean, we've seen Christmas Carol be told time and time over again. I mean, come on, Mickey Mouse has told it, the Muppets has told it, so it's something we haven't seen before. All right, so could be interesting though. I mean, Netflix has made some decent anime films over the years, so maybe this will be the next. All right. Also in theaters on December 23rd and Netflix on January 6th, we got The Pale Blue Eye, directed by Black Mass director Scott Cooper, starring Christian Bale, Harry Melling. Here's what this is about. The Pale Blue Eye is a gothic thriller that revolves around a series of fictional murders that took place in 1830 at the U.S. Military Academy, West Point, and surrounds a young cadet the world would come to know as Edgar Allan Poe, played by Harry Melling. Christian Bale plays retired detective Augustus Lander, tasked with investigating the murders. The Pale Blue Eye is based on a novel of the same name. And I guess it sounds really intriguing. I mean, Scott Cooper has made some really cool movies over the years. Obviously, he pretty much, he pretty much got Jeff Bridges his first ever Oscar with Crazy Heart. He put out Black Mass with Johnny Depp. His last movie was, of course, Atlas, which I thought was a really cool little horror film there. So, yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see where they take this one at, too. So, now there is probably some other movies that don't really have dates yet. Like, there's other films that, it's still slated, but don't really have actual dates or even confirmed to come out this year now. Like, few I could probably think of that could probably slip in the release date schedule. Maybe Adam Sandler's Spaceman, that's still coming out, which I think, they're going I think that probably won't come out until next year because it's a heavy effects film. So, yeah, of course, we got that new movie, You People, which stars Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy. I'm excited for that. I think Murder Mystery 2 is confirmed for next year. So, yeah, we probably got some other ones that are still not really coming out this year yet. But we'll see when they get. But a lot of really interesting stuff to look forward to. I mean, if I gotta choose like some of the Netflix films I'm excited for this year, I'll probably say maybe Knives Out 2, Matilda I'm excited for, One in the Wild. Got some great stuff to look forward to this year. But let me lead you guys. Which of these Netflix release schedules are you more excited for? Which Netflix movies just in general this year are you excited for? Which one sounds more interesting to you? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simmy signing out.